Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Angel. You're watching Headhunter Exotics on YouTube. And in today's video, I want to discuss an issue that seems to happen quite a bit of people out there in the reptile hobby, and that's scammers. How do you combat a scammer? How do you weed them out? Well, in today's video, I want to discuss a couple of steps that I use to help weed out those unwanted scammers or con artists. Call them whatever you will. Anyways, but before we get into the video, I want to thank all my subscribers. That number gradually seems to climb, guys, and I thank you for it. But if you're new to the channel, guys, you haven't yet subscribed, do me a favor and hit that subscription button, hit the notification bell, so every time I upload a video, you'll be notified that one's been uploaded. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on in. One of the sites I want to talk about first is Craigslist. Now, usually Craigslist is the site that attracts the most scammers, but there's some good people out there, and I've heard a lot of good stories of people buying off of Craigslist. So with that being said, there's two ways that you could get a hold of the seller that has the post on Craigslist. It's either going to be through telephone or it's going to be through email. Either way you get a hold of them, ask them if they have an Instagram or Facebook, or if you have the Skype option, ask if you could reach out to them through one of those platforms. Because a video chat, you're actually seeing the person in front of you. Then you could ask to see the actual animal that they have for sale. You could see if the animal looks healthy. You could ask all the questions you have for the seller. Husbandry, prey item, how often it's getting fed, the sex. You could even ask to sex the animal in front of you. Was it produced by them, someone else? There's a lot of questions that are important before you actually take the plunge and buy the animal. But like I said, Craigslist is usually when you're shopping in your area, you could see that person face to face, but also you could meet them in person. But I advise that if you decide to meet that person in person, to do it in a public place, hopefully during the day, and in a place that has surveillance cameras. Usually, if you meet up with them in a parking lot of a Walmart, a Home Depot's, a Lowe's, many of those stores have surveillance cameras in their parking lot, just in case this guy decides or she decides to rob you. If it's some kind of setup, guys, you never could be too sure. Always protect yourself at all times. If you ever, throughout the whole process, feel that they have not been answering your questions, or they might not be wanting to get on a video chat or whatnot, they start backpedaling for any reason, it's usually a good sign to walk away from the deal. The other two sites I want to talk about, Facebook and Instagram. Both of these apps have a video chat option on their platform. I advise you, after you do all your research and you make the contact, to try to reach out to them through a video call. Because while you're on Instagram and Facebook on their page, you could scroll through their posts and find out if they actually have that animal in their custody. If you don't see that animal in custody, demand through the video chat to see that animal. And then you could go along to asking the questions and taking and following the rest of the steps that I have laid out for you. But you could apply this to reptiles, animals, invertebrates, anything, any kind of animal that you are looking to buy over the internet. Just be cautious. Look for the red flags. The last site that I want to talk about is Morph Market. Morph Market is a site that I use continuously to make purchases for ball pythons. So let's look at Morph Market. For this example, I'm going to use Morph Market to show you how I go about weeding out those people that are out there to scam you. The majority of people here on Morph Market are legitimate sellers and breeders, and but you will get that one that will sneak through looking to lighten your wallet a little. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to use my visual female clown, 100% head pied, and I'm going to look for a male for her. So my thinking is to get a visual male pied 100% head clown to more or less balance out and hopefully have a better chance of producing a visual clown pied. So we're going to go over here to where the piebalds are. Now that I'm in the piebald section, I want to go to filters and narrow down my search. So I want a male. I'm only going to list 3 genes because I don't want them to list more genes than what I'm looking for. So I go down here, traits included, of course, visual piebald. Now I'm putting head clown. That's all I'm going to put because I'll let them suggest the third trait of what they have listed. So put go, and it's going to give me a list of all these visual pieds that are head clown. You have some albino, some regular pied head clowns. You have some fire pieds, 100% head clowns. And you have some bananas, orange dream, and you have some leopards, some yellow bellies. But because I am into leopard, that would fit my breeding plans, and because I plan to stay, I don't want to spend more than $1,500 on the male. So to me, this male right here, this leopard pied 100% head clown, would fit my plans perfectly. He is by Big Color Reptiles. I've never heard of this guy. He's at Huntington Beach, California. He wants $1,600, 45 to 60 domestic for shipping. Offers will consider, but no trades. Now, the description over here to the left, it says pairing was a pastel leopard clown, 100% head pied male, crossed with a pastel energy pied female. And he goes on to say that it's a perfect example, 50-50, and that both of the parents were bought from Justin Kabelka. Okay, Justin Kabelka is one of the leading breeders in the United States, but he's not the only one. So I'm not familiar with Big Color Reptiles. So I'm going to go over here to his little link, to his info. And right here it says who the owner is, which his name is Louis Christopher Rhodes. He's at Huntington Beach, California. And he has a Facebook and Instagram. And he has listed here a phone number where you could get a contact with him. So those are 2 good signs to look for. Now, we could go over to his Facebook to verify, and Instagram. And I like to do this for the fact that I want to see if those animals are in his care. So the first step I would do is research and an investigation. Go over to Facebook, Instagram, find out what he has on there, see if he has the actual snake on there posted on there, and any other information that he might have. Also, too, you could take it a step further and see if he has a YouTube channel. And you could also ask around in your social groups your little groups that you're involved with. Ask some of your friends that are in the hobby if they've ever heard of this guy, know this guy. And also, too, you could take it a step further by looking here. He is a bronze member of USR, annual member of Morph Market, and you could basically go in here and kind of look to see how long he's been a member and stuff like that. And right here it says that he's very responsive. So before I make the initial contact, let's go over to Instagram and Facebook and see if we could find him. Okay, so I jumped over to his Instagram page, scrolled through his posts, and I found the lock between the two parents that he claimed he bought from Justin Kabelka. I found the mother on eggs, and I found the actual post of the ball python that he has listed on Work Market for sale. Then I jumped over to his Facebook, and I found his Facebook page as well as the female on eggs and the clutch size as well. So both of those two sites check out. I went to YouTube, but I didn't find anything under Big Color Reptiles. And you can ask, like I said, within your circles, your friends that you deal with that are in the hobby as well, ask around. One of them might know him as well. So after that, then we go to the next step. Initial contact. Using Morph Market has a way to contact them through their own site, through email. First thing I do, send them an email. Hello, my name is so-and-so. I'm interested in the male leopard pied 100% het clown that you have listed on Morph Market. Is it still available? Wait for his response. Once he replies to my email, I would ask if I could get a hold of him because I have more questions and I would like to see the animal in person over the video chat to make sure that this animal is in his care and it looks healthy. So because he has an Instagram and Facebook, I would direct him to either one of those. Once I have him on the phone, then the next step would be to ask your questions. But remember, before you actually make the contact, have your list of questions ready. But I'll go ahead and provide a couple of questions you can ask. What was the pairing? Even though he stated it in his Morph Market, you want to make sure that he's stating it again and that he's not trying to put something else in there, because if he slips up and says a different pairing, then you know something's wrong. What is the weight of the snake? What's the snake's diet? How often is it fed? Was it produced by him or someone else? What is the health of the snake? You could also ask him to sex the snake in front of you to make sure it is the sex that he listed on Morph Market. You could ask for the husbandry, what type of temperatures, substrate that the animal is kept in. These are all important questions. Once you've already asked the questions you need to ask, and you feel that he hasn't backpedaled in any way, shape, or form, then you go on to discuss the method of payment as being, you could ask him what form or what app does he use to receive payment, what form of payment he feels more comfortable with, and also too, if you plan on being placed on a payment plan and making payment arrangements, and how long he's going to give you to pay your reptile off. These are all important to iron out at the beginning, so he's not expecting anything different and you're not expecting anything different, and the sale goes as smooth as possible. Now, just because you got to this point and everything seems that it's going great, you're still not out of the woods yet, because scammers out there are going to think of better ways to scam you. This person could be in front of you through a video chat. You could ask all the pertinent questions that you have, and he gives you all the right answers. He could talk about payment arrangements. And if this guy's really looking to scam you, then it's more likely that he's not. He has the animal in his care. He received the money, and he has no intentions of actually selling you the animal. So like I said, you got to be cautious. Ask the questions you need. Make sure you put a face to the seller. And even though there's some issues with PayPal at the moment, I don't even know if PayPal will be relevant by the time this video is released. But I like to use PayPal because PayPal insures your money. If you don't get the item that you paid for, they reimburse you. But because of people like that out there scamming and trying to con you out of your money, PayPal is taking a hit. That's why methods might change, or they might just start changing their policies. So with that being said, like I said, this is not a foolproof plan, but at least it will give you some guidelines, some steps to follow to be able to weed those scammers and con artists out. Okay, once again, let's use Morph Market. I'm going to come down here to the ball python section, click on that. Brings me to all listed ball pythons. Okay, for another example, I'm going to use, I have 2 female pinstripes, possible het sunsets. And I want to look, I don't want to waste too much money. I bought these 2 females with intention to get my feet wet in the breeding process. And that was basically it. I wasn't planning on working with a pinstripe gene at all, period. But since I have these 2 females, I'm going to add value to them. So to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I'm going to try to prove them out and get my feet wet in the breeding process. So I'm going to go over here to the sunsets. So here is all the sunsets they have listed. I'm not going to go for visual male. I don't want to waste that much money. I would rather just go for a het, 100% het male, and hopefully hit the odds and maybe produce 1 visual sunset. If not, I'd keep all the offsprings that are female and just go ahead and pair them back to the father. So there's a lot of ones out here. GHI, got a couple of normals that are 66. But how do you know that that person actually deals with sunsets? You could see here as Regis Creations, he has 3 listed. So you know anything else from Regis Creation that's listed will be legitimate, right? So what about those that you're unsure of? Well, you got captive bred right here also too. So anything that he has listed will be sunset. I know Wind-Free Reptiles as well had some listed a while back. But I need to find a male that's going to be a little bit older, not a hatchling, because my 2 females are almost breed ready. So I need somebody that I could get ready within a couple of months. And here's one right here. This is a normal 100% sunset male. Now he is from Royal Authority, and he's in Texas, Leander, Texas. I don't know this breeder, but how do I go about finding out if he actually deals with the sunset gene? Now, I could ask other breeders here in Texas if they heard of him. Right here on his card, where I'm pointing right here, he does have on his business card or on his logo a sunset. But how do I know he's not trying to scam me? Well, what I usually do is I'll go over here where it says calculate. I hit calculate, and I'm going to put sunset right here, sunset right here. Okay, select sunset, and I'm going to calculate. Now what this is going to do, it's going to give you the calculations of crossing sunset. With sunset, you're going to get 100% head sunset, 100% visual sunsets. So you click on the sunsets, and it's going to show you every single breeder that has sold a sunset, a visual sunset, or a visual sunset plus different genes in it here. As you could see, Brock Wagner, Regis Creations. But what I'm trying to look for is Royal Authority. How do I find out that he deals with sunsets? Well, if he's ever sold any sunsets on here, he'll have it. So far you see all the other breeders, but I do not see Royal Authority. But we still got about 3 more pages to look at. Still no Royal Authority. Oh, but look. First one on this page to the top left. And, oh, the first two. Pastel Sunset Female, 6,500. And a Pastel Sunset right here. Royal Authority. So I know he deals with a sunset now. So then what I would do is from this point on, I would follow the steps. Okay, guys, this is an example that I kind of wanted to show you that a deal could kind of be a little bit too good to be true, or a deal that is that you should watch out for. Okay, this was one that I had came across. It is of a piebald female. She has a weight of 834 grams. She's not proven. She's a 5-year-old piebald. They want 900 for her. Offers will consider. But this is what it says. We are selling Elliot female because we need the space where her terrarium is. She likes to eat every other week. She sheds on a regular basis and is very healthy. We are never attempted to breed her. Well, to me, she's 5 years old. She eats regularly on a regular basis, but her weight is 834 grams in 5 years. Now that kind of seems a little off to me. Now on the top left corner, you see that she is on hold. So whoever jumped at this offer, I hope they didn't get scammed, because this is one of those that just raises so much red flags. And if you come down here to see if they have anything else listed, this is the only ball python they have listed. So this to me would raise a lot of red flags, and that's why I've given you steps to go about if I was interested in this one and I wanted to go after this ball python, which I probably wouldn't, because it being 5 years and the weight of a 834 just tells me that she's a problem feeder maybe. And also too, you got to watch out with the new sellers. That's why it's good to do your investigative work. Reach out to them, direct them to a video chat, and go from there, guys. But I just wanted to include this example of one that I did come across on Morph Market. So buyer beware. For all of you guys out there that are getting into the hobby, I hope that this video was helpful to you. And for all the people that have been in the hobby and you could add to this video maybe some steps that I left out, I'm welcoming some suggestions, and I would appreciate it if you'd leave them down in the comments. So if I decide to do an update video at a later time, I could get all y'all suggestions and include them in the next video. By fine-tuning a process like this and releasing videos that are informative and helpful to people out there, we only could better the hobby. So with that being said, guys, my name's Angel. You're watching Headhunter Exotics. Peace, love, and God bless.